Hello ladies and gentlemen, thank you for clicking on another one of my videos. I am Screen Scene Guru, and today I'll be discussing another double feature. This is on a Minecraft movie and Mickey 17. Really awesome movies from Warner Brothers Studio. These came out earlier in the year, and I did hear about them, but unfortunately I didn't go out to the theater to see them. I waited till they came out on digital release so I could watch them at home with my family. And I had a fantastic time watching them. I was just celebrating my brother's 30th birthday, so we had a really fun time. So going into this first movie, got a bit of information pulled up. A Minecraft movie, which is an interesting title. Came out in 2025. PG rating. It was an hour and 41 minutes, so a good runtime. Let's go into the story here. Four misfits are suddenly pulled through a mysterious portal into a bizarre cubic wonderland that thrives on imagination. To get back home, they'll have to master this world while embarking on a quest with an unexpected expert crafter. So this is, of course, talking about Steve, played by Jack Black, which is very interesting. Steve's supposed to be the main character, player one, the character you play as, which is very interesting. I thought the lore was really cool for this game. It got a lot of love for it when it came out in theaters with the chicken jockey, infamous, the wrecking of theaters. A lot of people were upset by that, theater owners mostly, but kids were getting, infamous TikTok reels off it and having a good old time. You guys can watch this on Max if you guys have that, and also rent or purchase it on Prime Video, which is what I did. Watched this on Prime. Good time. So yeah, they talk about it's an action comedy, epic adventure, fantasy. So that's really cool. I thought it was really well done, given that Warner Brothers was like, oh, this is going to be another video game adaptation we do. Which I believe the last one they did, trying to think back, but was Tomb Raider, Warner Brothers? I'm not sure. I gotta go back and think, but I believe the last one Warner Brothers did was maybe Mario World, or the Mario Brothers. I believe this is what it's called, with Chris Pratt, because we watched that one too. We rewatched it, and it was pretty good, better than I remember it being the first time I watched it. But yeah, it's been a minute since Warner Brothers released, video game adaptation movies. But now in the last couple of years, they have been releasing them. So that's really fun to see. This also stars, along with it, let's go into the cast real quick. Jason Momoa, which is really cool, from Aquaman and other franchises of Warner Brothers. It also has Sebastian Henson as Henry, okay, and then Emma Myers as Natalie, Jennifer Coolidge as Vice Principal. So she was really fun. She ends up getting with a villager after she hits him with their Jeep Grand Cherokee. So that was really cool. Let's see, who else is in this? They've got Danielle Brooks plays Dawn. She was in Peacemaker, really fun series, also on Max. So yeah, really cool and eclectic cast, but I thought it was an interesting story with Jack Black playing Steve. He wasn't accepted by the world, and then he went into the mines after finding the cosmic cube, and he went crafting his own world, which was interesting, kind of lonely, but then he had friends that eventually joined him, the wolf, and then the wolf got out, and other people found the cube. Of course, that's where the story goes. Interesting that they try to do like a parody, almost like Tron, which was kind of cool with saying Jason Momoa's character is this infamous gamer that was big in the 80s, but now he's struggling financially and he has to try to make ends meet, and that's why he teams up with Steve reluctantly to get his diamonds, which is really funny. But they have an emotional scene where they believe Momoa's character dies and everyone's sad about it, but of course he comes back at the end to save the day. Really good visuals, like I said, so I highly recommend a Minecraft movie if you guys haven't checked it out. Let me know if you have in the comments down below. But going on into our second film, real quick. Oh, well, real quick, I do want to go into the director. So let's see, director Jared Hess. I just want to see what he's done before. See, so he's a writer, director. What's his stuff about? Okay, known for Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre. So he's worked with Jack Black before. Gentleman Broncos. Okay. 95 Senses. 2022. I haven't heard of these things, but okay. The last thing he did was a Minecraft movie. Then Thelma the Unicorn. Haven't heard of that. Okay. Murderer Among the Mormons. Haven't heard of that. Last Man on Earth. Okay, TV series. He's done television. Making History. Son of Zorn. Oh my gosh. Okay, we know what that is, guys. Let's see. What else? Yeah, so it looks like. Let's see. Oh, well. Okay. So yeah, he hasn't done a whole lot, but Napoleon Dynamite, I liked that a lot, and Nacho Libre was pretty good. So I'd liken that to both those films. The comedy in this Minecraft movie was like both those. So that's cool. Jared Hess directing. I like him. Pretty good comedy director. Now let me pull up Micky 17 from 2025. This also came out this year. Underscored, uncredited, sci-fi drama trope film. This is, of course, off a book, a sci-fi novel that was really good. The movie kind of undercut it, but it was Bong Joon-ho who directed, which I was really excited about. But let's go into the story real quick. During a human expedition to colonize space, Micky 17, so-called expendable employee, is sent to explore an ice planet. So very, vague premise, but they don't tell you from the trailer if you watch it. The expendable program, they basically copy your DNA and your consciousness. After doing several harsh experiments, you are reprinted and you must undergo more rigorous trials to continue your journey throughout the space colony. They are going to Niflheim, which I thought was a very interesting planet to travel to. They have gone there in the MCU. It's the Frost Giants' homeworld. It's funny that they have Mark Ruffalo playing their political, failed, disgraced, run-em-the-muck cult leader, if you will, who's also leading their space exploration for the company, for their religious faction. Very interesting stuff here, guys. I liked the story very much. A lot more graphic than I thought it would be, even though the trailer premised it would be graphic. Gave you more moral, ethical questions than maybe you would have led on to believe, because Bong Joon-ho does this infamous thing of othering his films, which is very interesting. He was the director behind Parasite, which is very good. It won, I believe, an Oscar, or maybe Oscar nominee. But going into some of the cast, let's see, coming down, we've got, of course, Mickey Barnes, main character, played by Robert Pattinson, which is very good. Warner Brothers kept him after the Batman. They said depending on whether or not this movie did well, they would do a Batman 2. And I heard it didn't do too financially successful, but I did like the story overall, so I do like his acting. Steven Yeun played Timo, which is a very interesting role for him, because after Beef, I was kind of hoping they'd bring him back to being a good guy, but it seems like they've continued the heel work of Steven Yeun, which I like him as Glenn in Walking Dead until they killed him off. But now, after he lost the role of Sentry to Lewis Pullman, it seems like he's been continuing his heel work, which is very interesting. But he plays his friend who double crosses him. He gets a better job on this space mission. He gets to be a pilot where Mickey's is expendable, and he gets to basically have all the things of space life you'd expect, as struggle that space life is, but where Mickey has to keep getting cloned and killed. So he gets the short end of the stick. We've got Patsy Farron as Dorothy, really good scientist. She comes up with a translator for the aliens on this ice planet they travel to. Let's see, we've got Cameron Britton as Arkley. He's also another scientist that comes up with this gas that they test out on Micky for exterminating the life on this planet. A very toxic viral gas. Then, let's see, going on, Mark Ruffalo, of course, as Kenneth Marshall, who's basically a play-up on our current president. I won't name him, but very interesting political stance, this movie, because, based on his failed political campaign, then he's going to the stars to start a new, pure white Aryan world with a bloodline. Goofy, ridiculous, it's never going to work. But very interesting. I do want to go into real quick. They have Milo James that plays young Micky because he has a bit of post-trauma and regresses back as he's, doing all these drugs. Also, Rose Chalot as the Super Order. Very nice. Let's see. Going on. News reporter. Yeah. Okay. Noemi Ackel as Natasha was really good as well. She plays like a law officer on the ship as well as fireman, first responder, all these things. She ends up forming a relationship, a bond with Micky, 17, and then when Micky's left behind, a new Micky is printed, Micky 18. And because of the consciousness and the memories being printed out with each copy, they explain the creator of this machine for the Expendables was a psychopath, and he cloned himself, and one of the cloned copies was a murderer. So, very interesting that eventually these clones will become tired of this treatment, obviously, and they'll try to rebel. It's only natural to do so. So very interesting that she tries to help both them, because Expendables, they're not supposed to be multiples. There's a law against them after the scientist was busted, so that was very interesting to go into the lore. Lloyd Huxon as Underboss was very interesting because the main plot, the reason why they were leaving Earth was because the environment was changing, it was getting harder to live, and they were running from a crime boss that wanted to chop them up and record their reactions. Very disturbing stuff. 32K, which I thought was very funny. They're just, basically scaring all the cinephiles, but very interesting. We do see that Stephen Yeun eventually at the end of the film has to fight the assassin, who there's been an associate of the loan shark was sent to Niflheim to collect. Very weird stuff. He wants to record them being chopped up and then the video to be sent back to him. But throughout the mess of Micky being lost in this ice world, he discovers these creatures, which they eventually call the Creepers, which use a form of sound to communicate. Believes that they might be somewhat telepathic after they use these sound devices that we come up with to interpret them. But Micky basically befriends them. They help him to take out Marshall, which is good because he was a really big asshole that was going to wreck that colony. He was going to just send them all down the wrong path. But I do want to mention real quick, do they credit her? Let's see. She should be like right in the top, but because I know if I pull up Heredity, she'd show up. Top cast. Okay, now I'm pulling up the full cast. Let's see. Sorry, Matthew Hackle. Huh. Yeah, I'm not seeing them even crediting her, but maybe that's because of a Bong Joon-ho thing. I'm not sure. Let's see, because there was a couple of weird dreamy sequences. Okay, real quick, look up Heredity, because this is a chick from United States of Terror. Okay. 2018. Gosh, that was a long time ago. Let's see. Ari Aster directed that too, who's coming back this year to direct some more stuff, more scary stuff. Real quick. Trani Colleray? Yeah, Trani Colleray played the wife in Mickey 17. I don't know why they didn't credit her on the IMDb page, but weird. She played a really crazy, second in command, if you will. Interesting plot that they were talking about. They had to prevent the crew from having babies on the flight to Niflheim, so they banned procreation until they get to the ice world, Niflheim. And then they were like, we're going to launch the largest sex campaign that ever in humanity. Ridiculous. But I like the story for, the morals of, you gotta stand up. You can't let people, walk all over you, push you over, because they will most definitely, and try to get one over on you. So in a lot of ways, people are Mickey. And Mickey is the audience. So that was a very moving, touching thing about the movie. But going on, let's see, because I want to pull up Bong Joon-ho's film catalog real quick. So this was on Mickey 17. Okay, 2025. And it was about rated R, obviously, because of all the graphic stuff they put in it. 2 hours and 17 minutes. So yeah, it was a little bit long. It felt a little long. Which, 25 minutes could have been cut off this film. Some people prefer a longer movie to a shorter movie. But yeah, interesting stuff. He's a writer, producer, director. He's worked on infamous, Snowpiercer, 2013, Okja, Parasite, 2019, Mother. Let's see. So yeah, Mickey 17, Snowpiercer, the TV series. That's another thing. He worked on the movie and the TV series. Because the TV series has Jennifer Connelly, which I've heard is really good. Parasite, he did the screenplay. Sea Frog, Tokyo, The Host, which is really good. Asian horror, The Host. Memories of Murder. So yeah, he's done a whole lot of stuff, guys. Phantoms of the Submarine. Incoherence from 94. Memories in My Frame. Memories in My Frame. Yeah, Motel Cactus. So yeah, he's done a lot of infamous Asian cinema. But now he's working his way to the Western world. Really cool. Real quick, I do want to bring up Hereditary. Yeah, for the director, Ari Aster. Because what has he done? I'll pull up him real quick. Okay, Ari Aster. Midsommar, Eddington. He's doing Eddington with, so yeah, let me pull this up real quick. He also did Beau is Afraid in 2023 with Joaquin Phoenix. So this is the second film he's done with Joaquin Phoenix. But Eddington, which is coming out soon, it's going to be rated R, A24, 2 hours and 28 minutes. So it looks like it's going to be pretty good. In May of 2020, a standoff between a small-town sheriff and a mayor sparks a power keg in the neighborhood is put against neighbor in Eddington, New Mexico. So very interesting. He's coming back to direct. Have you guys seen the trailer? It looks very odd, but cool. I do have a bit of a script of movie news to get into. With the Superman box office now blowing up to be above $125 million domestic. That's really good. Dune 3 officially began filming in Budapest, and they've also retitled the film, which has gotten some controversial people talking on social media, that it has dropped the title Messiah and now is just going by Dune Part 3. So that's very interesting news to hear from Denis Villeneuve. We've heard from the producers on Daredevil Season 2 for Born Again. It is done filming. It's wrapped and is ready for editing and reshoots, or if they need to edit certain sequences like they did for Season 1, similar to. So they're now being reviewed by the bosses, basically, to keep scenes or to cut things. So that's very interesting. I mentioned in my previous video, Ozzy Osbourne performed his final concert with Black Sabbath and a whole host of other concerts, guys. A bunch of people turned out to support him, and they donated to Child's Hospital, I believe it's cancer research or something like that, in Europe, in UK. So that was really cool to see. We got people like Aerosmith coming out, even though he had been retired for years. He came out and sang like 3 songs. Slayer came out, a bunch of other infamous bands, so I'm probably going to do another video on that. Ringo Starr turned 85 years old, so I just wanted to shout out to Ringo, one of the last remaining Beatles. So going on, let's see, some more movie news. John M. Chu to direct Hot Wheels movie for Warner Brothers Studio, so that sounds very interesting. I recently did go out with my brother to see the Jurassic World Rebirth film, and I saw the clip of the Odyssey trailer for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, dropping pretty soon in the next couple months, so that's very cool. Or I believe it's going to be next year, 2026, in towards the end of 2026. But going on, we got Mad Max Into the Thunderdome turns 40 years old, so that's really fun to hear. I might go back and check that out. I Know What You Did Last Summer blooms up in its production value. They're saying that the new trailers dropping are likening it to the latest Final Destination, which was really good, that made the most out of the franchise. So the box office campaign and the ads are really going for this new I Know What You Did Last Summer, coming out July 18th. So that's really fun. Cowboy Carter impresses fans with a high energy performance, so that's cool. Love Island's facing criticism from the viewers over this, the latest bathtub episode and all the racist comments that people kick people off the show and different things. Let's see. Scarlett Johansson becomes the highest grossing actor of all time after this release of Jurassic World Rebirth, which was very awesome. I'm going to do a Jurassic World Rebirth video, guys, so be sure to check out that on the channel. But just comparing some of the numbers, Scarlett Johansson is now worth $14.9 billion after 52 movies. That's compared to Samuel L. Jackson, who's worth 14.8 after 66 films, and also Robert Downey Jr., who's worth 14.3 billion after 65 movies. Zoe Saldana, who's worth 14.2 billion after 31 films. But people are saying her box office gross is going to increase with the films she's going to come out with, like Avatar 3. Chris Pratt is worth 14.1 billion after 23 movies, but they have confirmed his box office is going to grow with his Garfield 2 and Mario Brothers 2, or Mario World, given the title that they'll give it from Universal or Warner Brothers. So very interesting. No release date yet on either of those films, but they are happening. So yeah, really cool stuff. We have heard that Matthew Lillard has joined the cast for Daredevil Born Again Season 2. We don't know who he'll play, whether it's a villain or someone that'll help Matt. Transformers 1 sequel might be happening. There's a lot of open-aired rumors going on at Paramount Studio, because they want to do something with the Transformers franchise, but they're not sure what to do. They've apparently called Michael Bay to direct a new live-action film, and he's agreed to come back. G.I. Joe and Transformers crossover is still in the works. and there's 2 other solo projects without creatives on board. So very interesting stuff to hear from that. Project Hail Mary surpasses 400 million views as the most watched trailer from Amazon MGM Studio. So really good things to hear about that. But yeah, that'll do it for all the movie news, guys. Be sure to be liking the video. Comment down below what you think on all the movie news. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, @SceneScreenGuru for future content. But until my next video, signing off. Bye bye.